Hey guys, HardlyBriefDan here with episode 38 of our Unity Make an RPG series, and today we're going to be doing a few things. First off, I'm going to talk about kind of where I'm headed with the game or with our RPG, and just what's been on my mind, and then where we're going to be going over, where I'm going to be headed, I guess, for the next few weeks with the series. So basically, my first thought was I want to do a stat overhaul. And what I mean by stat overhaul is basically when I first started this, 37 videos ago now, I guess I was being, in my mind, I was being a little lazy with the stats I chose, and didn't go too in depth with how they were going to work and stuff. And so I changed that, and I've worked on that, and I came up with a new model. It's an Excel spreadsheet. I'll show you guys in a few minutes what that's going to be like and what I'm going to be doing. The next thing I wanted to do was add a few more classes, just 2 more, and then I'm going to actually add races. And I think most of you, not most of you, some of you are trying to work on some large projects and could use some help with a more complex stat system and more detailed with classes and and races. So my plan is to use 4 races, 4 classes, and then a whole bunch of stats. Not a ton, but a few more that allow some play on some learning aspects for me to teach you, and then some play for you guys to learn how to, you can even add more to it, but you can see how they all work throughout the game better. Now, the other thing is combat systems. I've had about an equal amount of requests for a realistic one, or a real-time combat system versus a turn-based combat system, and I know originally I said I was going to do turn-based combat system for this, and not a real-time one. Well, I'm going to change that. Don't worry, because I'm going to be doing both. The first one I'm going to be doing is a turn-based combat system, but I want to explain what I'm going to be doing first. First off, right now our turn-based combat system is a simple, it's down here. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. It's just a state machine, which basically monitors a few states. We have a start state, a battle state. Well, in our battle state, we have a player choice and enemy choice, and it just alternates between these 2 states, and you win or lose based on health. And this is the core of what it's going to be like. Okay, I'm not going to get super in depth with a I'm not going to do a real in-depth turn-based combat system like you might find in some JRPGs, like where you can move the player around to different quadrants or something, and we'll bring line of sight and all that stuff in. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to keep it more simple. I know someone had mentioned like a Pokemon type turn-based combat system, and it's going to be more like that. And the reason why I'm doing the turn-based combat system first is because I can work the stat formulas out first. Meaning, like, turn-based combat is easier for me to start with because I don't need to rely on animations and stuff for the feeling of a real-time combat system brings. Now, don't get me wrong, turn-based combat needs animations and stuff to give it some life, but it's easier. I can just say, okay, you do this ability for this much damage, and then now this person goes. You do this ability for this much damage, and now this person goes. And it's easier to go back and forth, and that way we can kind of work on some formulas for our stats, for your stats, whatever, and kind of work something out. And then what I'm going to do is, while we're working on that, I'm going to start intertwining a few things of real-time combat, and then we'll jump in and do some real-time combat stuff. And that's probably be over the next week and a half maybe, and then once that's kind of working a little, it's kind of fun, nothing too crazy, we'll move on and maybe we'll do some like NPC stuff, text box, quests, something like that, something that's part of RPG that's not just the sole part of the combat. I want to do a touch base on a lot of different things because I know a lot of you are different steps and probably want me to hurry up and get more of these out, but I need to kind of organize myself first before I did that. So, enough of me rambling. That's the idea. Just to go over again, we're going to do a stat overhaul, which will start today, and then we're going to be doing turn-based real-time combat, both. and then we'll jump in to do quest and NPC talking and vendors and that fun stuff. If you had noticed, I created a little terrain. It's something really simple. It's pretty ugly in the game. I definitely don't like it, but it works for now. But anyways, I created that. Player works. We have our script running, camera movement, you can zoom in, zoom out, all that stuff. So, to jump into stat overhaul, I'm going to go ahead and open up the Excel spreadsheet I created and kind of talk about what my idea is for races and classes and stats themselves. So, I came up with, it's like 7 stats, I think. 8, 9, can't count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stats. We have stamina, intellect, strength, endurance, armor, overpower, luck, mastery, and charisma. Okay, these 9 stats are going to be everywhere. Or, most of them. The 5 of them will be everywhere. And what I mean by that is, the 4 main stats are stamina, intellect, strength, and endurance. Stamina is your health modifier. Intellect is your damage modifier, your spell damage or magic damage modifier. Strength is your physical damage modifier. And then endurance is your energy modifier. Each class has energy. You can call it mana, whatever, rage, I don't care. But you have some sort of cost to attacks that need energy or something. That's my idea, at least. Okay, so right away, you notice that we have magic and physical damage, which I think adds a little complexity. It's not super in depth like some games are, but you can build off of it. So like spell damage, it's not gonna have nature damage, fire, earth, wind damage, that kind of thing. It's just gonna be 2 types, but you can kind of see how to work with both types if you have multiple types, and you can branch off from there. The next thing we're gonna have armor. Armor is going to be on gear, so there's armor value. Armor is a damage reduction modifier. So your mage will wear cloth gear presumably, and that person will not, they won't have as much armor, but they hit harder, kind of thing. Overpower is a critical strike chance. More overpower you have, the more chance you'll be able to crit. And crit right now, I'm thinking is going to be like 120 plus like 120% damage or something, and that might be spell dependent. The next thing we have is luck, which is extra and better loot chance, or you get more gold, you get more, you may get like an extra roll on a really better piece of gear, that kind of thing. Mastery is the next talent or stat, and that's a chance for bonus damage. So you'll have a chance to do an extra bit of damage on attack. This is different from critical strike chance. It's not as much, and it's probably more often than overpower. And then the next thing is charisma, which I decided at the last minute, is lower buy prices, higher sale prices, and bonus rep. The reason why I'm doing charisma, partly it's not related to damage, which we can change if we need to. Maybe higher dodge chance because you're friendly or something. I don't know. But mainly I wanted to use these stats somewhere else in the game and not just in battle. So it was mentioned using endurance to run, to sprint. Using if you're sprinting, you only have a limited amount you can sprint based on how much endurance you have. So those kind of things, I want to do that kind of thing outside of combat. So if you're doing other things, your stats should still matter, not just when you're fighting. So that's what charisma comes in, and probably endurance or something. Now, the classes. You're going to have 2 range and 2 melee classes. You'll have a mage, a warrior, archer, and a rogue. The mage is a spell damage person. The archer does spell and physical. The warrior is physical. The rogue is physical. Plain and simple. You have 2 pure physicals, and then 1 pure spell and 1 mixed. I'll go over the stats in just a second. But the races right now, I have human, elf, dwarf, gnome. Those can be anything. Doesn't matter. You can pick what you want. Those are very generic very generic fantasy tropes of races. So that's why I chose them. You can, like I said, do whatever you want. Make up your own. If you're designing your own world, go for the race creation. It's fun. It's very detailed. You can create some wild characters. But anyways, now you're probably wondering what this BS stuff stands for. Well, what I decided is I wanted stat bonuses. I wanted a main stat bonus, a secondary main stat bonus, and a bonus stat. They all have different weights. And these weights over here aren't the same. I changed them up. I created a spreadsheet that allows me to kind of mix around what I want to do, but I'll get in that in a second. So what I decided is each class, is going to start with the same base stats. You're going to have 12 stamina, 8 intellect, 8 strength, 10 endurance. Armor's null because it's based on what gear you start out with, and then you have 10 of overpower, 10 luck, 10 mastery, 10 charisma. Okay, that's what it base starts out as. But now you have your main stats, your secondary main stat, and then your bonus stat, and these are affected based on your choosing. So if you choose a mage, your main stat's going to be intellect. You get a on this page an 8% bonus towards your main stat, and then your secondary main stat is your endurance, so you get a 5% bonus on that, and then your main secondary, or your bonus stat, is your luck, so you get a 3% bonus, right? And that's just if you choose a class. But let's say you choose a race. Your race has bonus stats as well. Each race has 3. So your human will have bonus stamina, bonus in strength, and then bonus charisma. Your elf has bonus stamina, bonus endurance, and bonus overpower. And you can kind of see. So from there, you'll see on the next sheet that I go over to, it's a pretty cool idea. I mean, it works. It's not like super cool or, innovative, but it kind of creates a little complexity, a little fun. At least that's what I thought. And it's fun putting together this spreadsheet. But anyways, now we're going to come to damage types. I did this to kind of help calculate the how I wanted to do a damage calculation. And basically, it's just adding things together. But we have spell damage, which directly comes from a magic attack or magic ability. If physical damage, it comes from a physical attack. Pretty self-explanatory. Then you have weapon damage. Each weapon or weapons are going to have a range of damage that they do, base damage. Then you have critical damage. You might not, this could be 0, a lot of the time, but if you get a critical hit, you're going to get a bonus, and that's where that damage calculation is going to go. You have your bonus damage, which is going to be a little bit of extra damage from your mastery stat. You have ability damage that comes directly from that ability. So let's say you have a sword slash. We'll call it sword slash. Say that sword slash has a base damage of 15. Well, that's going to get added into your damage, to your total amount of damage. And then you have your main stat damage that comes is a modifier. We're going to modify our overall damage with our main stat. So you might get like an extra 4% bonus because your main stat or something. And then of course you need, from this we're going to subtract armor reduction. I don't know exactly what that formula is going to be like, how I'm going to do that, but when we get to calculating that in our turn-based combat system in a couple days, then we'll look into that more. So this is the basics, some basic stat stuff, what you're going to see now in the game. Now I'm going to jump over to this sheet, and it's nothing pretty here, but basically what I did, go ahead and color this just because. Basically what I did here was create a little class creation system here. It's very simple. Allows me, I'm saying character levels from 1 to 50. Doesn't need to be, but you can change it and it changes all the stats. So right away, and over here, we have our main stat, secondary main stat, and our bonus stat. I've weighted them differently. Our main stat has a 12% bonus, our secondary has 8, and then our bonus is a 4. Calculate that, just divide by 100 over here. And then I have it set up so you can see the base starting stats of a level 1 player. A level 1 warrior, for example, will have, if the race didn't play, a chance it would have 13, I'm rounding it up, so 13 stamina, 8 intellect, 9 strength, 10 endurance, 10, 10, 10, and then 11 charisma, 10 overpower, 10 luck, 10 mastery. Now, these calculations do not take into account our bonus stat from our character races. So, what I did down here was I created some if, and or functions throughout these cells. You can kind of see up there. What I'm doing is I'm comparing and looking at things. So basically I created drop-down bars, and it's this very, very simple character creation. Okay, I want to be an elf, and I want to be an archer. Well, A level 1 elf archer will have base stats that are unmodified by buffs, debuffs, or gear, just base statistics right here. You'll have 13 stamina, 9 intellect, 9 strength, 11 endurance at level 1. Now, if I go ahead and jack this up, say we're level 50, you're going to have 624 base stamina, 448 base intellect, 432 base strength, and 520 base endurance. You can see that the stat bonuses have played a role. They've manipulated how the, how much or how well this elf archer is going to be. The bonuses are going to affect a little bit. I'm not going to lie, it's not going to be even. There will be a cookie cutter class, I'm sure, but I don't really care about that. So you can jump on this elf thing and say, okay, well, what if I want to be a human archer instead? You can see what it changes. Here we got less endurance on our human, but we got more strength. I want to be a dwarf. Well, I'm gonna lose. What I gain stamina look like? No, I lost stamina, but I gain intellect. So some of my magical archer attacks will be stronger. And then our gnome here, same stats as our dwarf. Oh no, it's different. But anyways, you get the idea. You can go ahead and change. Say I want to be a gnome mage. Well, there you go. These are your stats at level 50. Oh, well, what if I don't want to be level 50 on 32? 32. Maybe your game goes level 100. Put 100 in there. Shows you what the stats are going to be. And again, these are unmodified stats. These are not modified by gear or debuffs or buffs, which I haven't gone into yet, but we will. So that's what I created. If you guys would like, I can make a short video on doing some spreadsheet stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and start doing some coding, because that's what this series is mainly about. But so yeah, we're going to jump into Unity. And as you see here, I've opened up a whole bunch of script folders, and in our character classes, well, actually in our scripts folder, I want to create a new folder, and we're going to call it character races. And under character races, I'm going to create a base race. So we're going to call it base character race. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and open up. Go ahead and open up base character race. There was one I wanted to open up. Where is it? Well, if I can find it. I don't know where. I'm looking for a specific one. I don't. It's okay. I open up base player. All right. So, anyways, open up our base character race, and this is not going to inherit from anything. Okay. Just get rid of it. But so actually, okay. So let's start with what a base race has. A base race has a few things. Again, it has a name. So we'll go private string name. We'll go race name. Private string. That's mainly it has a name. Trying to think if I want to include anything else on the race for now. The base race again. It's me a base class. Yeah, our base race. Our base race is going to have a name, and then it's going to have, we're going to create 5 bools, okay? Bool, and it's going to be I'm going to open up my stats in the other window here so I can make sure I got the stats right. But basically, I want to make a true or false bool for our stats. So I'm going to go private bool. And for instance, our human has a bonus in stamina, strength, and charisma. So we're going to go, we're just going to write private bool has strength. We're going to go private bool has intellect. Yeah. intellect. And then we'll go private bool has stamina. I spelled it right this time. Private pool has endurance. Private bool. You can do this. You can do this using an array, but I'm gonna do it because I want to actually be able to read it. Armor doesn't play a role with race, but overpower does. So it has overpower. Private bool has luck. Private bool has mastery. Private bool has charisma. There we go. Alright. So, I'm going to set all these to false. Actually, yeah, well, no, you can create a function down here. We're going to go public void character base. No, it's public, and then it's just base character class. So when we call this function to create a new class, or race, excuse me, when we call this base character class or race, it's going to create these things. So our base race name is going to be needs name. So you'll go race name. It's going to be equal to needs a name. This is to help debug if we find an issue later. Has strength. Set this to false. I'm going to go ahead and copy all that. Come down here and we'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and erase that. Go ahead and erase all this stuff. We don't need any of the bulls private stuff, but we need. So the reason why I'm going to set all these to false is because we're only going to be changing 3 of them at a time. And so like I said, you don't have to do it this way. I just think it's more descriptive than just having a bool array. If you can do a bool array of the size of all your stats to keep track of them, so you don't have to write it all out like this. But basically, my thought process on that was like, if I have a bool array and in 4 months I come back to do this, I don't remember what the order of that bool array is. So I said, I want all these stats written out so I know exactly what they are. It takes a few seconds to write it all out. That's why I did that. Alright, so now we have new stats. We have all of our stats in here. I have strength twice. We don't need that, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I have messed up here. 2 semicolons. We don't want that. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm missing a stat. Strength, intellect, stamina, endurance, overpower, luck. Oh, missing armor, but we don't need armor because. Yeah. All right. So now all these are false, and we can go ahead and control this to save this. If you have more things you want your race to have, a base race, we might include later on when I create some spells. We might include a like a spell ability. So like a class or a race, excuse me, has a base ability. Like I know a lot of times in MMOs, races will have an ability. Like try to think. I think like in World of Warcraft, like dwarves have stone form or something like that, where they are strong. They can like use it to be stronger for a few minutes or something. But you can do something like that later. But I don't know if I want to do that just yet because we don't have any spells anyways. So go ahead and Control S and save. Jump back into Unity. Under our character races folder, we're going to create races. So we're going to go new. We're going to do base human race. Go ahead and create for all your classes or your races. I keep getting that confused. Create base scripts for them. So base elf race. Go ahead and create another one. We're going to go base dwarf race. You know, I think I misspelled dwarf in my. I did. I spelled dwarf wrong in my spreadsheet. Okay, base. Sorry, base. No. Race. Okay. Control save. Open all these up. so we can edit them. Yay for editing. Okay, so our dwarf race. We're going to start with dwarf. It's not going to inherit model behavior. It's going to inherit our base race, character race. Boom. We can get rid of all this nonsense because we don't need it. So what do? Well, we create a public base dwarf race function. So when we call this, we're going to go ahead and call a new I forgot to set a public headers and setters, but I think I'm trying to remember. We're gonna call this base character race, so it sets all of it to that. I'm thinking I don't actually need this. I can just set these equal to that, so we don't have. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Go ahead and copy all this stuff over like I'm doing now, because we don't need this little function. It's just gonna add extra couple lines of code in our base class races, and we don't need that. Why am I doing that? They're all false. There we go. Okay. Go ahead and delete this public thing, and now we're actually going to do our public getters and setters. And if you remember, we did these public shorthand ones. That's what we're going to do here. So you're going to go ahead and do a public, not oblique, public bool has strength, and do our get set. Right? That's how we did it last time. You can look. You can double check. I'm going to go ahead and not have a colon there. Bam. Copy that. Paste it. Let's see. There we go. No. Ha. Not what I wanted. Control Z. What's going on? Well, shoot. Okay. Alright, so now we have has strength. We'll do has intellect. Then we'll do has stamina. We'll do has endurance. Has overpower. Leave a comment, by the way, and tell me if you like my stat names and ideas. I'm interested in see what you guys think. Mastery, and then we need one more. Go ahead and jump down here. Control V to paste. We added 2. Only need 1. Instead of strength, we have our last one, which is charisma. Okay, so we have our public getters and setters. We initiated them, so they have a start. So now on our base dwarf race, when we create a new dwarf race, we can go dwarf name. So we'll go dwarf, name. What do they call it? Race name. Why doesn't it see it? Base character race, public race name. I didn't make a getter and setter for it. Public string race name is get set. Bam. Control save. Go back into dwarf race. Now we should be able to see it. Race name. We're gonna set that equal to dwarf. And I figured out I want one other thing. We're gonna go has strength. We'll do stamina first. And stamina, the dwarf in this case does not have a stamina bonus. That's what I want to do. I'm sorry guys, I'm scatterbrained today. But I want to actually label this as bonus. Come on, let me grab that. Copy, paste. Yeah, I want to make sure, like I said, I need to be more descriptive because later on, like I ran into a few days ago, and I was going through these stats. I was like, well, shit, I don't know. Excuse me, I don't know what any of these mean. You know. So the other thing, why do all these have 2 colons? All right. The other thing I need to do, or want to do, is make a private string, and it's going to be race description. Needs a description. Okay. Alright, we'll go down here. We'll go public string race description. We'll do our get, set, bam. Alright, we have everything ready to go. Jump back in here. We're going to do race description now. We're going to set that equal to a string. Is a dwarf. If you guys come up with some cool flavor text, write it in the comments below and tell me what you want me to write there. I have no idea. For all 4 races, you guys can choose. You let me know. Alright, so now we're going to do has stamina bonus. We're going to set that. Actually, no, we don't need to do that because they're already all false. We only need to do the ones we want. In this case, we have intellect, strength, and mastery. So we go has intellect bonus, set that equal to true. Has, what did I say, strength bonus, set that equal to true. Not true, not try, true. And then we have, what is mastery? Has mastery bonus equals to true. Boom. I'm going to go ahead and copy this because it's going to be the same setup. Copy that. Control S to save. You can exit out of that dwarf class. Go to the race, or the elf here. We're not going to, I'm in the elf race now. We're not inheriting from auto behavior again. We're inheriting from our character race. Instead, we're not, this is called our base elf race, not our dwarf race. So we'll have elf is an elf. Elf has stamina, so we want to change this has stamina. They also have a endurance buff. And then we have a overpower buff for elf. Okay, control is to save. You can exit out of that. Jump back into our gnome. I'm going to erase all this because we don't want it. Control shoot. Ha! Oh, I forgot that I copied that. Go ahead and open up the elf race if you did the same thing I just did. Gonna go ahead and copy all that. Copy. Keep it open just in case. Paste. Gnome race. Shoot. Come on. We're gonna inherit from race, character, race. Why are we seeing it now? There it is. Okay, our name is now a gnome. Is a gnome. The gnomes have a intellect bonus. They also have an endurance bonus, and they have a luck bonus. Control save. Gonna go ahead and copy that. Human. Go ahead and copy that. Character, race, control save. We're going to change it to human. Change this to human, a human. Humans have stamina. So we'll go has stamina. They also have strength. And then they have charisma. Controls to save. Alright. So we have our races set up, and I'm going to make sure that we don't have any errors in Unity, and we shouldn't. It's just a simple code structure. Oh, I don't use it. Okay, open up the base character race, and we are going to have to do that function. Go ahead and type in. Go ahead and type public. We're going to create a function like I had before, so we don't get those errors. Basically, those are their warnings. Basically, it's saying I'm not using any of these, so these actually aren't being set. I'm pretty sure they're not being set. Well, I'm pretty sure they are, but I'm going to just do this function to double check. So here we're going to go ahead and grab all that. Oh, that's going to be a lot. All right. Bam. Sorry about this, guys. Go ahead and copy and paste all these little stats. Lots of copy and pasting, encoding. Alright, go ahead and add all of it here. We have endurance or stamina, we got intellect and strength. This way, when we go ahead and create, on strength now, copy, paste. We need our description, copy, paste, copy, and our name. So this is kind of redundant, these up here, but I'm just going to keep that there for now. You don't need that, but we'll go ahead and just leave it there. Alright, so now, since we did that, we're going to get rid of those the warnings we had. That's weird because we use them here. I think I might be doing this wrong. Let me double check. It shouldn't be. I think that's right. Basically, these, I don't want these to start null, which they are right now. I think. Maybe this needs to be race name. Yeah. Okay. No, that's not right. I don't know why it's not doing that. Anyways, controls to save. Go into Unity, and we'll double check this when we actually add these to our character creation. Open up dwarf race, and then dwarf. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Alright, scratch all this. Get rid of all this. We're going to use just our public getters and setters, okay? We're going to, we don't need any of these. I'm going to leave it in here for now because I might use it. But basically what we're just going to do is in each rate, we're going to just do them all. Because I want to be more descriptive so later down the road you'll know. So it has stamina. Bonus is equal to false. I don't want to do that. That's a lot of... This is too much typing, you know? Okay. Anyways. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead in here. We're going to call... since we're inheriting from that, we can go ahead and call it. We can call that function. So you'll go base, character, race. Right? I think that does that. No. New. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, okay. Ignore. Alright. Sorry, that's I got an error from one of my textures that I downloaded. Alright, so what we did here is we created a new base character race function. It basically initializes all this stuff. What that does is it allows it sets everything to false and needs a description, and we actually need to do race needs name. So basically it sets everything to false, so we only have to include these three, whatever bonuses are in there. So go ahead and control this to save. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. We need to add this to our other 4 races. When I add it in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and add this all to our character creation module, whatever you want to call it. And when I do that, we'll go ahead and double check, make sure everything's working fine. But this is going to be our basic race structure. So added the new stats, added the race structure, or added this new stats to the race. We're going to have to add it to our stat allocation stuff at the beginning of our character creation, and we're going to have to add it to... that's it. Okay, anyways, sorry for the long video. Hope you guys like where we're going to be headed for this. In the next video, we're going to hopefully finish up all the stat stuff. I won't be rambling on as much. This video is kind of long already. But hope you look forward to it. Please like, subscribe, comment. All your support is amazing. Please support me and my channel by passing on to your friends and subscribing. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. If you want a video on that spreadsheet I made up, I could do that. Just leave a comment saying you want that, and I'll make it. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time.